Good afternoon and welcome to 90 Minutes Live in association with Easy Shelf Direct, that this afternoon find us at a Hill Grounds, home of Kempston Rovers. It's Southern League Division 1 central action between Kempston Rovers and Welwyn Garden City. I'm Peter Hill, full live commentary on the match coming up, and I'm delighted to say that joining me this afternoon in place of Simon Lamandy, who's having a well-earned rest, is a man that I last worked with. I've worked it out, and I think it's 18 years ago, but as I said, we were both 12 at the time. So it's a very good afternoon to Chris White.
Good afternoon, Pete. Yeah, normally it takes people 20 years to work with me again, so 18's, I must have done something right. I'm currently being deafened by the Kempston youth who are about to come out on mascots. Last two times I've been here has been in May for the last 2 years for Women's Cup finals, when there hasn't been a blade of grass on the pitch. It's looking good today, so nice to see a good pitch. Looking forward to the game.
Well, it's two teams that very much need the points. Kempston and slap bang bottom of the table, and just 13 points so far this season from their 19 games. They're 8 points adrift to the team in front of them, who are Tame United, who they lost to last week by 1-0. Welwyn Garden City, well, you might look at this game and you might think 13th against 19th. Well, not too much riding on that, but there's a lot riding on it as far as Kempston's concerned. And when you look at Welwyn Garden City, have only played 19 games, which means they've got 4 in hand on Waltham Abbey, who occupy the bottom playoff place so far, and they're only 9 points adrift. So Mark Weatherstone's team have got a real chance of getting themselves back into that playoff picture if they pick up those points from the games in hand. Let's take you through the two team lineups. Welwyn Garden City, as expected, had to make one change. Bailey Stevenson starts his suspension, having that red card last week against North Lee. He's replaced in the starting lineup by Henry Jones. But apart from that, it's as you were and as you'd expect from Welwyn Garden City, with Jack Vasey out injured but fit enough to take his place on the substitutes bench. So to start with, Charlie Crowley in goal, two fullbacks, Alex Harris and Ryan Kerwin. The centre-backs, James Koloski and Josh Steele. James Mully will anchor the centre of midfield, and just in front of him will be Gucci and Brad Watkins in support of a three-man front line of Durnell Winter, Henry Jones and Cyrus Babai. And on the bench, Donovan Green, the goalkeeper, Josh Bryant, Lucas Jordan, Jack Vasey and Zach Brown. The home team bring the changes a little bit after that defeat against Tame United. They give debuts to two new signings, Dylan Joyce and Lucas Cardines. So they will start with the goalkeeper George Whitehall. They'll operate with a back four, which will see Marlo Goff and Albert Wood as the fullbacks. Gabriel Ward and Kieran Gaultier will be the two central defenders. In midfield, they'll have a Laurie Ladepo, Erin Amu, and one of their new signings, we think, Dylan Joyce, and a three-man front line, Lucas Cardines, Ariel Amu, and also on loan from Milton Keynes Dons, Joshua Adepoju. And on their substitutes bench, only 3 substitutes plus a goalkeeper for the home side. Lorik Derekesi, the former Ware striker, Sam Ezenkwanka and Charles Black, along with Jack Marshall, who is the goalkeeper.
Looks like we're going to have a minute's silence before the start of the game.
We are indeed going to have a minute's silence, and we will join you right after that.
Just a reminder, there's a minute's silence. Sorry, a minute's silence. We're saddened to hear of the death of our former Colts team manager, Carl Roberts. Carl was an excellent coach, inspiring his lads to aim high and do their best, with a few going on to play for the class. Our thoughts are with his family and friends at this difficult times. Today's officials are Charlie Mayhew as ref, and assistant referees Daniel Staples and Chris Howes. Enjoy the game.
And a minute's applause, which was in tribute to Carl Roberts, who's former Colts manager here at Kempston Rovers, who sadly passed away during the week. And it's a very we're about to have our picture. Linda's about to take our picture here. You didn't know that was part of the deal, did you? We'd have pictures taken. Linda Babai is about to take our pictures for us. Thank you, Linda. As we will be appearing somewhere there. And two teams then are out on the pitch. Nice to see Kempston come out with all the youngsters, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It's a very nice touch by the home side. The officials, by the way, haven't told you about them. Gaither Mayhew is the referee. He's from Hemel Hempstead. The last time Welwyn Garden City saw him was at home to AFC Dunstable earlier in the season. They lost 2-1 and he booked 8. And his assistants, Christopher Howes and Daniel Statham. We've got one team at the bottom, Chris, one team who are still hoping to get into the playoffs. What are you expecting?
I think it's going to be a very tight game. The problem that Welwyn Garden have had this season is they really haven't, or this year rather, is they really haven't got the playing time. So maybe fitness will be an issue. I don't know if they've yet picked up a point, have they, in 2024? So their need is as much as Kempston's, who had a surprising win last time you were here against Ware when they were 2-0 down, I believe, at half-time and ended up winning 4-2. Then got a point against Aylesbury, only to lose to their bottom two rivals, Tame. So I think it's going to be a close game. It'll be interesting to see how the new signings fit in for them and how Welwyn adapts.
Well, 11 home games and just 2 wins for Kempston against Tame and Ware. Welwyn Garden City's away record is far better than the home record. 6 wins on the road for the Citizens, only 2 at a home. In fact, both of them have got identical records on their home ground. It's going to be Kempston who are going to kick us off, kicking from right to left in their red and white striped shirts with a red back. Welwyn Garden City all in change strip of sky blue, and away we go in Southern League Division 1 Central. So Welwyn Garden City without Bailey Stevenson, who's certainly been in the goals so far this season, but Brad Watkins has got 12, Cyrus Babai 9 and Durnell Winter 8, so there have been goals coming from Mark Weatherstone's side, sometimes away from home. The problem's been keeping them out as well, having conceded 20 in their 11 away games. It's Albert Wood who's going to take the throw-in for Kempston on that far side. Finds Aria Moo, who's robbed of it for a moment by Cyrus Babai, and then the ball goes out and it will be a throw-in to Welwyn Garden City. Ryan Kerwin, the left fullback, will take it. He seems to have got the nod from Mark Weatherstone over Josh Bryan, who's on the bench. As the ball onto the head of Cyrus Babai. Further on by Henry Jones, who's playing centre. I did wonder whether he'd play wide, but he seems to be playing centre of the front three at the moment. With Kempston in possession. All played out on this near side to Lucas Cardines, one of their new players. He's an Auburn City player on dual registration, I understand. He's won his side a throw-in, which will be taken by the number 3, Marlo Goff. Goff gets it back from Erin Amu. Goff given the opportunity to put the ball across, and in the end Alex Harris closed down that space. And Kempston win themselves an early corner, greeted with much enthusiasm by the young mascots who are sitting just away to our left-hand side. So an early corner for Kempston Rovers. Charlie Crowley's there. It's been great. He's only got one player in the box, and in the end the corner, not the best, all the way along the ground almost, but Alex Harris couldn't clear it, but scuffs it behind for another chance for Kempston to take a corner on this near side. The ground, as we described a couple of weeks ago, really all about one stand. Not much happening elsewhere behind either goals are on that far side. It's a smattering of a couple of bodies over there. Cardines is going to take the corner. Not the biggest team, Kempston Rovers, it's got to be said. So as the corner comes in, goes to the far post, and it's put in the back of the net. Well, they didn't see the run, and it's Marlon Goff who scores his first goal for Kempston Rovers, we've had just 2 minutes and 38 seconds. And Welling couldn't have made a
on the
worse
way
start.
over, Pete, just in the middle of the 6-yard box. It went flicked off somebody's head. Couldn't see whether it was an attacker or defender before it was tucked in at the far stick.
Wow, disappointing start for Welwyn Garden City, and just what the home side needed, of course. Calm down, Welling, says someone. Well, they've hardly had time to do that. Just 3 minutes on the watch, and have conceded first in the league this season. They've come back to win 2, draw 1 and lost 5, and it's been a rarity when Kempston have scored first, but they've won 3, drawn 2 and lost 2 of those games. Thought we might get goals, and we've had one very early on here, and Welwyn Garden City with work to do as they trail by a goal to 0. Albert Wood's ball is met on the halfway line by Josh Steele, and it goes out. The one thing you want, Chris, when you're bottom of the table is a lightning start, and that's what they've got.
Absolutely right, but you've got to look at Welling's defence as well. When that first corner went in, as you rightly said, it was poor. It was played to the near post. It should have been cleared. Might have caught a dodgy bounce, but it wasn't the greatest piece of defensive work. Kempston got a second attempt at it and have scored.
So it's the home side that lead, just 2 wins all season here, 2 draws, 7 defeats. They've used 39 players so far this season. Gucci on this near side brings in Darnell Winter for the first time. Darnell tries to keep it in, but it's the goal scorer Marlon Goff who's in the way. He's 20. Played his football at step 5 up to this point with Harbenden Town amongst others. Alex Harris will take the throw-in for Welwyn Garden City, just being forced to go a couple of steps back by referee Mr Mayhew. Alex's throw, looking towards Henry Jones. He can't get it, but in the end he will get a ball across the box. Darnell Winter couldn't get hold of it. Brad Watkins can't get it. And Dylan Joyce thumps it away over on that far side to give Welwyn another throw-in. Ryan Kerwin down the line to Cyrus Babai. Cyrus inside for Brad Watkins. Welwyn yet to settle down as James Kolosky picks the ball up, but they've given it away, and Joyce has it back for Kempston, but he's given it straight back to Ryan Kerwin. Kerwin's ball inside, looks for Henry Jones. Assistant's flag goes up on this near side, and offside against the Citizens. Once more, we've got one of those crows on the pitch. They were a feature of last time we were here against Ware. Who kept making their appearance.
Probably after your packed lunch, Pete, I would imagine. Heard of your reputation.
Well, it precedes me, Chris, I know. Long ball from the back from Gabriel Ward, but it's a fairly aimless one, and Charlie Crowley in his all-orange strip will come out and collect it on the edge of his area. For Kolosky, who turns. Looks to come forward, long ball forward, looking for Henry Jones, but Ward's in the way. Gucci will pick up the scraps in midfield, feed James Mully. Mully on this near side beckons Alex Harris forward. Alex's ball to the edge of the area, look for Henry Jones, slipped under his foot, and George Whitehall will collect it quite comfortably. Welwyn's position, I was saying, in the division, played 19, 26 points, 13th. But we've got a whole host of games to catch up with, including one against today's opponents on Tuesday week at Pexhurst. Next week they're at home as well, home to Leighton Town. Home record's not been good though, as Charlie Crowley looks to find Alex Harris, flips it on nicely. He'll give it Darnell Winter. He won't get there though, because Kieran Gaultier will get there first. Joyce has given it away. Brad Watkins finds it in and fires Welwyn Garden City level with his 13th goal of the season. Something out of totally nothing. Ball bounced. He hit it. Goalkeeper didn't have a chance. 7 minutes gone. Quite a start here at Hill Grounds. It's 1-1.
Is it like this every week, Pete? Again, that should have been cleared by the defence. The midfielder for Welwyn did really well to steal in. The Kempston defender was ball watching, midfielder was ball watching a little bit. One bounce on what's proving actually to be a bit of a bobbly pitch, hit it from about 22 yards straight over the keeper's head. Lovely finish.
Watkins then, who's having quite a season for Welwyn Garden City, established as top scorer with 13 this season. advances him a little bit up. The 90 Minutes Live in association with Easy Shelf Golden Boot as well, which I'll be telling you about at half time. He's established himself as the leading Step 4 player into the top 5. So Welwyn have recovered from that early setback, looking to go forward with Cyrus Babo on the far side. Henry Jones is making life a little bit difficult for Ward, who in the end has to turn away and thump it out for a throw in. Far side of the field, midway inside the Kempston Rovers half. Lightning start on 90 Minutes Live. 1-1 here at Hills Grounds. Other games involving our teams, both away, of course. We're at Barton and Hertford with the longest trip, away at Leaders North Lee. Try and keep you up to date with what's going on there at half-time in our half-time sequence. Meanwhile, Kempston have a throw-in on that far side. That Albert Wood, the 18-year-old former MK Dons youth player who spent a bit of time at Bedford as well. His sun comes out, shadows on the pitch as James Kolosky tries to find Cyrus Babo on the far side. Hit forward by Josh Steele. Henry Jones can't keep a foot on it, and going backwards is Dylan Joyce. Puts it back to his goalkeeper Whitehall. Aaron Amu in possession, just shy of the halfway line. Plays it out on that far side. Kempston just a little bit of possession. Joyce coming forward wearing 11. Far side of the field looks for Wood. He goes down under challenge from Cyrus Babai, and Kempston will have themselves a free kick. Will they? No, because
it's offside.
Yeah, flag went up against on that far side. Joshua Adepoju.
It seems to be a tactic, Pete, early on in the first 11-12 minutes that Welwyn are pumping it forward onto Henry Jones's head. I don't know whether that is something they've thought about or worked on in training, but everything seems to be going forward for him to flick on.
Yeah, I was saying it's interesting he's playing in that position because previously when I've seen him play, they have varied it. Darnell Winters played through the centre a bit this season, and Cyrus has as well. And Henry tends to come on wide on the right hand side, but he's been given the number 9 shirt this afternoon by Mark Weatherston as the ball goes out for a throw in, which Ryan Kerwin will trot across to take for Welwyn Garden City.
Good amount forward here as well, 6 on or around the penalty area, Pete.
Gucci went for the short one, but Ryan Kerwin turned down that option. Goes a little bit further back for Watkins, who brings in Kolosky, and James Mully then skies it to the halfway line. Long ball far side, looking for Ryan Kerwin, but again there's an offsides flag up in front of us, bright yellow flag, and so there'll be a free kick to Kempston Rovers. Always been plenty of goals when these teams have played. 5-0 it was here last year. Kempston beat Welwyn, and best season they've had round these parts for quite some time. Welwyn Garden City though got revenge back at the Bexhurst when they won 3-1. So a couple of notable Welwyn Garden City victories over Kempston as well. They won 8-0 in the League Cup a few seasons ago. That's as the ball lands on the head of Ryan Kerwin. It's inside the centre circle. Joyce just punts it in the end towards Brad Watkins, who goes down under challenge, but referee not interested in a free kick, and the ball in the end, in fact,
it's giving a free kick to Kempston.
Free kick to Kempston Rovers, which is some 10 yards inside the Welwyn Garden City half. Albert Wood to Cardines. Cardines' ball across the box is volleyed clear by Alex Harris, fairly easily picked up by Lonray Labibo, and Joyce again, who manages to get the ball away from Henry Jones. Possibilities here coming forward on that far side as the ball comes across the box. Welwyn don't deal with it in the end, but luckily I think it was Harry Amu that came off last and goes behind for a goal kick, with the home side claiming that it was a corner. Nothing doing though, and Welwyn come forward with James Kolosky. Kolosky's ball down the line. Look at the run of Henry Jones. Plenty of defenders there. Gaultier is the last one who will let it run out of play. This teenager on loan from St Albans that Kempston have close links with, as they do with the academy at MK Dons. A few of their players have gone through that route. Henry Jones' ball is snapped out by Erin Amu. Finds Cardines, long ball forward, looking for Harry Amu. Charlie Crowley, good position, but clearance not so great. Lands on the halfway line. Cyrus Babai with Joyce there. Brad Watkins, though, brings it down. Cyrus's ball forward is to Whitehall, who's equally advanced, the goalkeeper. Onto the head of Josh Steele. Headed it rather up rather than away, and untidy passionate play ends with Alex Harris punting it forward. Gaultier punting it back towards the halfway line. Gucci now, good ball for Darnell Winter, right inside of the box. Only Henry Jones in it. Arriving late is Cyrus Babai. Couldn't get under it and puts it over the top. But good opportunity for Welwyn.
It makes you think that's the answer, Pete. I know that Welwyn's goal came from 22 yards out off a volley, but they've got the height advantage over Kempston, and you think the balls from the wide area to Henry Jones and to Silas is going to be a good way forward for them.
13 minutes in, 90 minutes live in association with Easy Shelf Direct with Pete and Chris this afternoon. Step 4 action involving Welwyn Garden City, keeping an eye of course at half time on Ware and Hertford, both of which will be looking for results away from home. As George Whitehall restarts with a goal kick away to our right, straight to Josh Steele. Hit it rather off his thigh rather than anything else, and Wood has to put it all the way back to the former Cambridge United youth goalkeeper George Whitehall. Whitehall's long kick forward will go out of play on that far side of field in Welwyn Garden City.
I mentioned it a little while ago, Pete. It's a difficult pitch to play on, I think. If you watch the run of the ball, it's constantly catching little bobbles, I guess because of all the wet weather, and then when it dries off, needs a roller or something on it, but it's not the smoothest of pitches I've ever seen.
Yeah, I think a month ago when we had all that rain, it was actually physically underwater. So that may be part of it, as Gucci tries to bring in Cyrus Babai on that far side. A decent bit of defending by Gabriel Ward. Gives it to Joyce. Ward gets it back. Now plays the ball forward to Ladipo. Ladipo on this near side for Cardines. Cardines has got the run outside him of Marlo Goff. But Alex Harris, who's settled into that number 2 spot, is a local lad, of course. Welwyn Garden City, spent those 3 years away at university in the States. Very much a fixture in his hometown team these days. As Ward will pick it up midway inside his own half for Kempston Rovers. Plenty of time before a bit of space is closed down by Brad Watkins. Long ball forward onto the head of Kerwin, who brings in Cyrus Babai. Cyrus runs in to Adepoju, and quick throw taken on that far side.
It's got to be retaken.
Referee will want it back again. 1-1 here. 2 very early goals, one inside 2 minutes from Marlo Goff for Kempston Rovers, cancelled out 4 minutes later from Brad Watkins' shot from outside the area for his 13th of the season. Ball lands on the chest of Henry Jones, but is snaffled away by Kempston. Long ball forward for Joyce, looking for Harry Amu. He's the most experienced man on show. Did play 3 games for Luton in his time there. He's Erin, his brother. Plays the ball on this near side to Lucas Cardines. Cardines down the line for Erin Amu. Erin Amu once again has given time to turn. That's Ladipo. Plays the ball across for Joyce. Thought about a cross. Looks for the run of Albert Wood, but chips it too far in front of the advanced fullback. And the ball will go behind for a goal kick, which Charlie Crowley will take. Talking about Welwyn's away record, well, they've won at Kidlington, Tame, Northley, Kings Langley and Waltham Abbey. Some impressive place to win there, Northley, Kings Langley and Waltham Abbey. Always impressive places to get 3 points. But it's not been the same tale at the Pexhurst. It wasn't last time out, of course, when they lost to Tame United. Didn't do Kempston Rovers any favours on that afternoon. Ball on that far side, Cyrus Babai for James Mulley. Mulley's ball forward, though can't find the blue shirt and goes all the way back to George Whitehall. James Mulley there really because Jack Vasey is injured. He's on the bench. Here's Harry Amu, but once again Charlie Crowley's starting position was good, but he can just bowl the ball out of play for a throw-in to Kempston Rovers. Albert Wood, the fullback, would take it. Gets the ball back on that far side, but then they give it away, but Brad Watkins can't get hold of it, gives it away to Joyce. Dylan Joyce again on this near side for Cardines. Both the new signings for Kempston have seen plenty of the ball. That one though goes out of play and away for a goal kick. And I just think, if I was Richard Keel, Chris, the Kempston manager, I'd be quite happy with my 2 new signings so far. They're both featured.
I've had a good last 5 minutes, to be honest with you. Most of the play has been in the Welwyn Garden City half. There's been some nice little touches on the ball, some little flicks and that kind of thing. I mentioned it off air when we got here, but they are an extremely young looking team. I mean, at my age everybody looks young, but these even more so than most teams that I see. So yeah, it'll be interesting. I don't think fitness will be a problem, but yeah, they're doing all right at the moment.
Ball back with Charlie Crowley. We won't tell you the average age of the commentary team, that would just be unfair. Long ball forward by Goloski, looking for Darnell Winter, right hand side of the box. Darnell Winter puts the ball across the box, but flashes it all the way across, and it's going to go out for a throw in to Kempston on that far side. Once again, Welwyn Garden City trying those wide balls. You need to get a few more players in the area. There was only really Henry Jones and Cyrus Papai coming.
Because they've got the beating of that left back. He's beaten him every time around the outside, got to the dead ball line. So, yeah, hopefully that's been picked up by the coaching staff.
Need to get Brad Watkins a bit further forward to pose a threat. There he is on the far side, wrestling away with the ball, wins it in front of the dugout, which Josh Urquhart and Mark Weatherston, the coaching team for Welwyn Garden City, ball headed on by Henry Jones, looking for Cyrus Babai. Wood goes down under challenge, and the referee will give Kempston the free kick. It's going to be taken by George Whitehall with the bright pink socks. Certainly the rest of his kick looks rather dull, but certainly see that part of it. Long kick forward onto the head of Koloski, and it's James Mully who seizes on the ball, comes across the halfway line, the former Ware player of course. Ball hit up in the air. Henry Jones will go up with on that far side, neither get the ball, and here's Henry Jones going down the left, and Winter making his way in the middle. And it took a last-minute challenge from Gabriel Ward, the 18-year-old, to put the ball out for a throw-in to Welwyn Garden City on that far side. A little bit of movement from the back coming up here. Josh Steele and James Koloski, both of them dwarf anything that Kempston can offer in terms of aerial power in the box. And it's going to be a free kick, I think, is it?
I didn't know. Yeah.
Not quite noticed. It's a drop ball, I think.
Not sure what that's for.
Not quite sure why Koloski and Steele have come up from the back. So, in fact, he's going to be a free kick, isn't it? Yeah. Gucci's going to take the kick then, all lined up on the edge of the 18-yard box. Only area move forward for Kempston. Gucci's kick is easily cleared by Wood on the edge of the area. Got the big players up from the back. You've got to find them. He didn't beat the first man, and Kempston a chance to come back in the opposite direction, but Gucci makes up for his error and wins the ball away and stops an immediate counter-attack by the Walnut boys.
He's speedy, that right winger for Kempston, Pete. Welwyn really need to keep an eye on him, because one bad bounce and he's away.
Interesting. I know Rio da Silva in the Kempston lineup. He's the one player that has impressed me when I've seen him this season. Certainly, you're absolutely right in what you were saying about Joshua Adepoju. He made his debut against Ware and had a very good game on that occasion. As Cyrus Baba gets across the box, Turner Winter brings it down, but Gaultier snaffles it away from Henry Jones, and then eventually they managed to get it clear only as far as Brad Watkins. was all hands to the pump there for Kempston. As Brad picks out James Mully, who's forced to turn backwards by Ladapo, and all the way back to Charlie Crowley. He's patrolling on the edge of his area. Right-footed downfield by Charlie. Up goes Henry Jones, flicks it on, but he and Darnell Winter were listening to different radio stations there. Didn't read that at all, so Kempston will get the ball
That's
back.
exactly what I was talking about earlier, Pete, is what they seem to be doing is to firing it up to Henry Jones, but if they're going to be doing that, they've got to have someone feeding off the back of him.
Long ball forward, looking for the run of Cardines down this left-hand side, but it's overcooked. And Charlie Crowley will collect it and find Josh Steele. Steele's long ball, looking for Cyrus on that far side, headed up by Wood. Brad Watkins heads it further forward. Gucci tries to bring it under control, but he's robbed of the ball by Dylan Joyce, and in the end it's thumped forward, and Charlie Crowley's got it again on the edge of the Welwyn Garden City penalty area. 1-1, both goals coming inside the opening 6 minutes here at the Hill Grounds in Southern League Division 1 Central. Ryan Kerwin on the halfway line for Welwyn, down, looking this time feet for Henry Jones, who was beaten to it by the number 5 Gabrielle Ward. Expensive a throw in though in front of the Welwyn Garden City dugout. Mark Weatherston directing the proceedings from there. He had a touchline ban actually, didn't he, a few weeks ago, so new place to watch your football for him. Got to say, he rarely sits down. He's one of these managers that's always patrolling up and down that technical area.
So Kempston played against Tame last weekend and lost 1-0, and Kempston did have a player sent off in stoppage time. That might be the player who you're talking about. I can't tell you his name, I'm afraid, but so they are one man on the red card on the ban today.
So both teams missing an influential player, as Welwyn certainly. Bailey Stevenson, who had that storming game away at Waltham Abbey, and has had a storming season really. There's a man missing, having got that red card against North Lee, a game where they took the lead, of course, through Darnell Winter, ended up losing 3-1 to the league leaders. Meanwhile, Eramamu and Gucci are having a little bit of a tussle. Gucci was on dual registration of Enfield Town, who Lewis Taff is as well, but Lewis Taff has played that well, but he's now in Enfield Town's lineup, so not appearing for Welwyn Garden City as Cardines gets the ball across the box. Up they go, and in the end it was headed over the top by Ada Poju, arriving in from the right hand side, but as you say, Chris, he's one to keep an eye on because he's dangerous down that side.
Yeah, lovely cross actually, right to the far post. Attacker got up well, defender put him off enough for it to go over the bar. Lovely cross.
It's going to be a goal kick to Welwyn Garden City then. 25 minutes first half as raced by here at the Hill Grounds. Played at a decent pace this one. 1-1. Long ball forward by Josh Steele looking for Cyrus Babai. That goes out of play and will be a throw in to the Walnut boys. 9 first half goals, and with today's only 10 all season. It's been their problem putting the ball in the back of the net. They've been outscored 27-10 in the opening 45 minutes of games. Long ball looking on that far side once again for the run coming in from Adapoju, but Welwyn sorted out. Header forward by Ladapo onto the feet of Kerwin, up in the air, headed back down and then brought down on his chest in the centre circle by Gucci, who just volleys it forward. And, Gucci settle is the advice from a spectator in front of us. I don't really think either side, I think Chris is right, Kempston have had the best of the last 10 minutes or so. Welwyn, for me, haven't really settled all games so far. Long ball down that right hand side, nobody at home, and Charlie Crowley, who's had plenty of the ball, but not in terms of having to save anything, but to collect it from the edge of his penalty area. He bowls it to James Koloski, who's only got 1 goal this season, but it was a bit of a special one against Bedford Town from the halfway line. I remember commentating on that one as Ladapo's put under pressure by Gucci, but in the end he fouls his man, and it's going to be a free kick to Kempston Rovers. 25th commentary of the season for us. 91 goals so far we've commentated on. So I think there's only been 1-0 in that, Chris.
It's been a very open game today. It's been a bit basketball-like, if you like, going from one end to the other. Neither side has managed to impose themselves on the game. From a watching point of view, it's very watchable because it's just going from one end to the other, and defences don't seem to be on top at all, and there are definitely going to be chances, potentially more goals in this.
Yeah, I think you're right. I can't see this one ending 1-1. I think there are going to be more goals. Last time we saw Kempston, of course, they scored 4 in the second half, having conceded 2 to Ware in the first 45. Alex Harris heads the ball out midway inside his own half on this near side of the field. It's a little bit difficult to see down this touchline. A commentary position about 10 yards inside the Kempston half. But very nicely provided with the table by Kempston. Thank them for that. Their hospitality. As the ball is on the edge of the Welwyn 18-yard area with Arian Moo, who plays the ball in to Dylan Joyce, who has to turn away from Brad Watkins. Back onto the halfway lines for Gabriel Ward. His ball forward is given away to Cyrus Babai, and then there's a foul involved, and so Welwyn Garden City will have themselves a free kick. There's been a lull in the game over the last couple of minutes. Charlie Crowley wondering where it's going to be positioned, and we'll take it. Charlie, of course, earlier in the season was climbed Kilimanjaro for cancer relief, didn't he? So a little bit of a difference between Kilimanjaro and the hill grounds. It's a long kick forward. There's a lot of bodies going up, but Gabriel Ward manages to win it, and then they give it away to Henry Jones. Cyrus Babai to Darnell Winter. Darnell away from one tackle, then away and plays the ball to the left-hand side to Brad Watkins. Kerwin's making the overlap. Watkins plays it in, and rather played it between Kerwin and Darnell Winter, but it was anywhere will do as far as Gabriel Ward was concerned, and Welwyn get a corner.
Moans and groans from the crowd about that clearance, but again it bobbled just as he went to clear it, and it went off his ankle. Pitch is proving an issue.
Well, I think aerial presence could cause an issue here if Welwyn get it right, because they tower over some of those defenders, and it's going to be difficult for George Whitehall, the goalkeeper, with Koloski and Steele inside the 6-yard box. That's where this one's aimed to the far post, but it goes over the top of everybody and away for a goal kick. Taken quickly by Whitehall, who finds Goff. Goff, plenty of space to move into, plays the ball down the line, but it's a loose one only as far as Alex Harris, on by James Mully. Cyrus Babai has come over on this near side, heads the ball forward, looking for Henry Jones, who goes up, wins the header. Gucci can't collect it, and it's cleared by Goff, but then ricochets out of play right in front of us. Throw to be taken by Alex Harris. It's a bit of movement. He hasn't got a lot at the moment, so has to go down the line. Henry Jones is beaten to it by Goff. Ward on this near side brings in Cardines. His long ball, though, as quite a few have in this first half, just goes straight over the top of the Welwyn defence, and Charlie Crowley's got some more fielding to do. Finds Josh Steele, former Harlow player. His old team didn't have good news this week. They've been denied promotion from the Thurlow Nunn League as Welwyn win themselves another corner.
Need to make this one count, Pete. The last two have been poor from them. They've got the height advantage. Need to get somebody to at least be able to attack this cross.
All right, arriving in the box again in the form of Koloski, Watkins and Steele. I wouldn't fancy facing those three, so George Whitehall's got some work to do, although points for later runs this time as Henry Jones and Cyrus Babai on the goalkeeper. That's a better looking corner coming across. Goalkeeper does well, punches the ball out to the edge of the area. Is Ryan Kerwin, who's come across from left back, still going, goes down under challenge. Referee not interested, and Kempston look to bring the ball away on this near side, but Josh Steele does a good job in stopping the counter-attack. Just for a moment it seemed like Adepoju might get away down this left-hand side, but all comes to nothing.
Much better cross from the corner though. Put a man on the keeper next time, maybe to stop him coming out and doing that punch, but much better cross.
Yeah, good bit of goalkeeping from George Whitehall, the 20-year-old. Very young Kempston side, it's got to be said. Haven't worked out the average age, but Harry and Erin Amu stand head and shoulders, and Lomri Leopardou has been around as well. Apart from those three, they're all around about the 18, 19 or 20 mark. Ball forward, looking for Cyrus Babai, and one of those teenagers, Albert Wood, as well, to hook the ball out of play on that far side of the field. He'll get the ball back. Gucci against Dylan Joyce. There's Albert Wood coming in the centre of the field. Has to go all the way back to Gaultier, who plays it out on this near side for Marlowe Goff. Goff plays the ball inside for Cardines. Goff gets it back. Nice little 1-2. Ball's put across the area. Kerwin goes flying on the edge of that area. And the referee gives the Citizens a free kick.
I don't know what you think, but it seems that the Welwyn players are standing off Kempston when they're coming forward. They're not biting into the challenge. They're giving Kempston time to turn and play those passes. I wonder if putting these teenagers and youngsters under pressure might be a good way forward.
Long kick forward by Charlie Crowley over the head of Alex Harris, just in front of us here, just in the Kempston Rovers half. Bounces it off a Goff's knee. Kolofsky brings it down and then thumps it against Goff's shoulder. Welling claim it was a free kick. James Kolofsky has gone down, and everybody just having a little bit of a chat around our referee, Mr. Mayhew. Had a lot to do up until now. It's got to be honest. It's going to be a throw in to Welwyn Garden City, but James Kolofsky is still down.
They breathe the teenagers hard round here because he took the ball from about 5 yards away, full pelt in the chest, and it's a Welwyn player who kicked it who's gone down.
And James Kolofsky is a big fella as well, 6'5" of him. He's got back up. No need for Rachel, the therapist, to come out of the dugout. Alex Harris takes the throw-in, looking for Derno Winter. Gaultier's got some work to do. Scuffs his clearance. Watkins has robbed Joyce. Has Brad Watkins, and a challenge in the end, which came in from Gabriel Ward and just about got enough on it to give Welwyn another corner. Otherwise, Whitehall would certainly have had a save to make.
Gorgeous step over on the edge of the D there, gave him that yard to get the shot in. Excellent block in the end.
Corner again then, this time from the near side, I think, although James Mully's played it on the far side.
I think he's given it far side, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be Cyrus Babai who's going to take it.
Right.
I think he's this side. Yeah. Otherwise, Derno Winter was poised for the longest run ever to the far post if he'd started from that position. So Derno Winter, first corner for Welwyn from this near side, be the outswinger with the right boot. As Kolofsky and Steele poised to make the runs. It's a decent looking one. Up goes Josh Steele. Mully was in there as well, but it ricochets out to the far side where Cyrus will keep it in play. Cyrus pulls it back across the box. Whitehall comes out. Decent punch to the edge of the area. Gucci puts it back on this near side. It's Josh Steele, but he can't get hold of it, and it will go behind tamely in the end for a goal kick to Kempston Rovers. But
there's an element of panic in the defending of both ends, isn't there, that's making this highly entertaining.
Yeah, I don't think either defence feels all that certain. Kempston have conceded 25 at home this season in 11 home games and a bit, and that's over 2 a game. They're coming forward here though, and he's he was on that far side, Albert Wood, but linesman's flag went up, and it will be a free kick to Welwyn Garden City. Leighton Town at home, as I said, next Saturday. They're a funny old team. Saw them get obliterated by Ware a couple of weeks ago rather, then saw them beat Hartford this time last week on 90 Minutes Live. Certainly a team that get wobbly in the last 10. They've conceded 13 goals in the last 10 minutes of games this season. That's one better than Kempston, who've conceded 12. So you never know what you're going to get where the Walnut boys are going into the last 10 minutes.
If you want goals, this is a league to visit.
I was looking actually, a statistic I would probably use now was Welwyn Garden City have only had 1 0-0 draw in their last 42 matches in this division. That came this season earlier on in the local derby against Hertford. Otherwise, you have to go back to last year when they drew 0-0 against Berkhamsted for a goalless draw involving the Citizens. Won't get one today. We've had 2 goals inside the opening 6 minutes. Welwyn have got a free kick. Some 20 yards inside the Kempston Rovers half, right on that far side, which means Ryan Kerwin's left boot will be called into play. Big men have come up from the back again to pressure this diminutive Kempston defence, but once again the goalkeeper's done well. George Whitehall comes out and cleans it around about the penalty spot as he bowls it out to Marlow Goff. Marlow Goff further down the line to Cardines, turns inside Gucci. Dylan Joyce can't control it away from Brad Watkins, but in the second attempt manages to get the ball back and is put under unfair pressure by Gucci, said the referee. So it's a free kick which is taken quickly. The Kempston Rovers trying to come forward, but again they've given the ball away. Cyrus Babai playing left back, forward for Ryan Kerwin. Henry Jones wasn't offside, and in the end the ball is thumped away onto the 4Gs on that far side by Dylan Joyce.
He had time to play it back to the keeper as well. That's what I mean. Maybe a little bit of inexperience with his youngsters coming in. I know it's always better to clear rather than fiddle around with it near your own box, but I thought we had a bit of time there.
7 minutes to go before the break, plus time added on. At Hill Grounds we stand at 1-1. A header from Josh Steele, helped forward on that far side by Ryan Kerwin, but it's Kempston Rovers that are in possession. Henri Ladapo turns it over to his left-hand side to Marlow Goff. Marlow Goff puts Ladapo under pressure. He didn't want that ball. Gucci goes in, and it's a little bit of a soft free kick. I thought Gucci got the ball there, but we've restarted with Aaron Amout. Plays the ball to Gabriel Ward, the teenage centre-half. Ward will get the ball back inside his own half. Looks for Aaron Amout, who's robbed by Gucci again. But the ball will go out for a throw-in to Kempston Rovers on that far side. Got to say it stands at 1-1. I don't think a point's good enough for either side, really. Welwyn will want all 3 as they hope to mop up those games in hand to rise them up the table. And the point really is not what Kempston need at this point in the season. They need 3, and they need plenty of them as well if they're going to avoid the drop to go down at the end of this season. And Kempston will go down to step 5 where they were a few years ago, so they're used to that level, it's got to be said, but it'll be a big disappointment to the club here if they don't maintain their step 4 status. Kick forward, Darnell Winters got it, he's beaten to it. Good tackle came in from Gaultier, and Kempston will come forward with Ladapo. Ladapo's forced to turn around by Gucci, who's snapping away at his ankles. Ball back to Gaultier, turns away from Henry Jones, brings in Ladapo again. Ladapo's moved forward for Dylan Joyce. Gucci has got it now though. Finds Henry Jones, who's found it difficult in the game, but now he sends Darnell Winter going down the right hand side. Nobody in the box. Darnell had to put his foot on it as players were late arriving. I don't think Mark Weatherstone might want to pick out at half time. Gucci and Brad Watkins have not been the quickest getting in the box when they've had that ball wide. Good footwork by Alex Harris, taking him down this right hand side, and in the end referee gives a free kick. But it's getting numbers in the box, isn't it, Chris?
It absolutely is, and they've got better the last couple, but the goalkeeper's come out and managed to either catch or punch away, so it needs to either swing away from him or, as I said earlier, possibly get a man on him, particularly at corners.
Well, Alex Harris is going to swing this over to the far side of the 18-yard box. They all go up. Cyrus Babai puts it across, and halfway between the cross and a shot, the Whitehall was in the way anyway. Puts it out quickly on that far side, but Cyrus will have a chance to bring it back down the left flank. Jones and Darnell Winter are inside the box. Cyrus loses control of it, then manages to get it back, hemmed in by 2 red shirts down by the corner flag. Still turning this way and that, goes down under pressure, looks at the referee, and the referee says get up. That's a throw-in. So throw-in will be taken by Albert Wood on that far side. It was a lightning start with 2 goals inside the opening 6 minutes, but neither keeper has really had too much to do since then. As,
particularly Charlie Crowley, actually. I can't remember him making a save, to be honest with you.
I think Charlie's had a very easy afternoon as Gucci's making his way into the box, puts it across that box. Ladderbow manages to get it clear, only as far as Josh Steele, and on the edge of the area finds Brian Kerwin, who's being wrestled to one for people of a certain vintage. That would have been a Kent Walton job there, I think, wrestling around. 2 pinfalls and a submission on a Saturday afternoon. It's going to be a free kick to Welwyn Garden City. Interesting position this, just on the corner of the 18-yard box. Sterno Winter fancies it. He was over there very quickly. Fancies putting it in with the right boot. Be a good time to take the lead this. 2 minutes before half time at Hill Grounds. 1-1 the score. Sterno Winter's got a diminutive two-man wall in front of him. Chips it in low. Doesn't beat another man, in by Mully, all the way along the ground and easily cleared by Gaultier. And again, doesn't seem to be too much conviction sometimes in those. We've had it from corners and that free kick, really. As Alex Harris will take the throw.
Watching him take that free kick, Pete, he quit on it, if you know what I mean. There's no follow through, and that's why it went so low.
So Darnell Winters down by the corner flag on this near side with Gaultier, but Kempston managed to come away with the ball, but Welwyn will win themselves a throw in parallel to the edge of the Walnut Boys 18-yard area. We're in the last minute of the first half here as Alex Harris punts it towards the edge of that area. Wood gets it away clear. Ball's midway inside the Kempston Rovers half. Brian Kerwin deflects it forward to Ward. Dylan Joyce can't get hold of the ball. Cyrus Baba's got it now. Going down that left-hand touchline, goes to ground, but it was a decent challenge that came in from Gabriel Ward, which takes the ball out for the throw-in, which bounces off Henry Jones. Wood thumps it forward off Cyrus Babai, and untidy, I think is the way I described this first half, and that was an untidy little passage, which ended in Kempston getting themselves a goal kick.
Can't imagine there's going to be a lot of stoppage either, maybe a minute. But neither trainer's been on, am I right in saying?
Yeah, we had that little bit where James Kolosky was down, didn't we?
But only for 30 seconds or so.
Exactly. So I think referee Mr Mayhew, who's well, it was 8 yellow cards last time Welwyn Garden City saw him. He hasn't really had a cause to go near his book so far. It's been decent enough. I haven't really seen him. As long ball forward, and Whitehall will come out on the edge of his area, collect it and bowl it out to his right, where Gabriel Ward will collect it. And then Welwyn seems to just, you're right, Chris, they're retreating. I haven't really put the press on because that was a good example. Well, Ward lost control of the ball, but he still had plenty of time to get it back under control because Welwyn weren't pushing players forward towards him.
And Kempston are waiting for the ball to come onto them. Gucci's nicked it in the midfield area 4 or 5 times, and I feel if they press, but they're going to get more opportunities like that.
Ball scuffed on this near side by Brad Watkins, but Kolosky will have it for Citizens. Looks good ball to Darnell Winter. Is Darnell Winter on the edge of the box? Darnell wants to the left foot, thought about the shot, now does take it, but it goes high and over the top of the crossbar. And,
it's half time, Pete.
That, I think, is going to be the last action of the first half here at Hill Grounds. Started off lively with the home side, Kempston Rovers going ahead in the second minute. Marlo Goff's first goal for them after Welwyn Garden City didn't get the ball clear, and he steamed in on the far post to make it 1-0. Lead lasted 4 minutes before Brad Watkins thrashed his 13th goal of the season past George Whitehall. And really, since then, it's been a lot of huff and puff, but not too much for either goalkeeper to do. George Whitehall's been the busier, but mainly that's been collecting or punching crosses out. And Charlie Crowley, well, as Chris rightly said a couple of moments ago, has not had a save to make. So Mark Waterston's having a word with his skipper, Brad Watkins. What's Mark going to be saying at half time?
It's a very good question. I mean, Welwyn are on top for me. They look the better team going forward. They are potentially liable to be caught on the break by a speedy winger on both sides, but Welwyn have got the winning of this. They've just got to try and get more chances to get those crosses into the box, to drive forward when the ball breaks in midfield. But effort just before the finish of the first half, there was a prime example, and the attacker beat they did everything right. A nice step over, little body swerve to the left, got in a great position to shoot. It was just the finish went over.
Well, that's the story of the opening 45 here at Hill Grounds. We'll be having a look around the rest of the league to see if we can mop up some half-time scores. Fixtures, Ware away at Barton. Never know what you're going to get with Ware this year, do you really? But I have 1-2 on the trot, and so they'll be looking to get something there. Hartford at North Lee. Ben Herb will want to bounce back from last week's disappointment at home to Leighton Town. AFC Dunstable against Bedford, Aylesbury United against Biggleswade Town, Hadley against Cirencester, Biggleswade against Kings Langley are the ones that affect the playoff places at the top. Those are the bottom. Tamer away at Stopfold, which is one will interest the locals here at Kempston. Northley, Bedford, Biggleswade Town, Cirencester and Waltham Abbey made up the top 5 this morning. But really, I think people know my view, has been listening. You take the top 3 of Northley, Bedford and Biggleswade Town out of it, you've probably got 10 teams who are after 2 playoff places, going all the way down to 13th place, which is where Welwyn Garden City found themselves this morning. We're trying to get some of those scores together. We'll give you a little bit of news about where we're going to be next week. Next week we'll be back on the home territory at Wadsham Park, and a real cracker it threatens to be as well, because those of you that joined us earlier on the season will have heard Ware get thumped ceremoniously at Kappa shots by Waltham Abbey. Well, it's a chance for Paul Hawes' team to get their own back next week when the two meet at Wadsham Park, and Simon and I will be there live from 2:55 on 90 Minutes Live in association with Easy Shelf. That's our fixture next week, Ware against Waltham Abbey. Certainly hope you can join us then. Also, little bit of news about the Hart Senior Cup semi-final also, which Hartford, of course, going great guns, beat Watford already, but Bishop Stortford out of the County Cup, of course. They face a semi-final against St Albans or Stevenage, and those two are yet to set a date for their quarter-final. And then the other semi-final is a bit of a complete fixture clash. Coney Heath, who are going to be waiting to play Cheshunt or Kings Langley or Berkhamsted. Kings Langley and Berkhamsted will meet this coming Tuesday with the right to play Cheshunt, with the right then to play Coney Heath in the semi-final. What we got, Chris?
Well, I've gone on to the video printer for the league. There's not a whole lot of goals that I'm finding. Hadley 0-0 at Cirencester, but I've got a jaw dropper for you in a moment. Biggleswade 0-0 against Kings Langley. Dunstable 1-0 down against Bedford Town. But are you ready for this, Pete? Northley 1, Hertford Town 3.
Wow, indeed.
And in fact, Hertford were 3-0 up.
Oof. Wow. Welwyn Garden City won there earlier on in the season, so they obviously won't like our teams.
Stopfold 0-0 with Tame.
That's something that'll interest the locals around here. So
Waltham Abbey 1-0 up against Kidlington.
That's again, that one involves the team in the top 6.
Tomato soup. Sorry, are you talking?
And, that's all right. I can stop when I'm offered soup. Come on, no problem. But thanks to Kempston for that. So Waltham Abbey up at Kidlington. One score we're waiting for is our Ware doing, of course.
Yeah, haven't got anything about that come through at the moment.
At Barton, and
I'll check their Twitter feed, see if there's anything.
We'll see what we can find there. As it looks at the top of the table, Bedford are going to go top tonight because Northley are down against Hertford, and Bedford are ahead in their game against AFC Dunstable. Another one of these teams you never know what you're going to get in AFC Dunstable, but Bedford who had that little wobble, but then of course the clincher which they had against Northley in midweek. Thank you very much, kind sir, who's just given us the tomato soup, which is most welcome.
Okay, so Barton Rovers have tweeted we're having about it's goalless at the break, so 0-0 with Ware.
0-0 Ware and Barton. So with Waltham Abbey winning and Cirencester at 0-0, then Ware will stay where they are in 6th place so far. But plenty to go and plenty to play for in the second halves of games. Let's have a look at the Golden Boot for the men's Golden Boot. If you're wondering why we're not telling you anything about Kempston, by the way, if you didn't hear us a couple of weeks ago, then you missed all the talk about walnuts and me trying desperately to get a link with the Muppets between Muppet World and Kempston, which has been something that's been set as a challenge for me throughout the season by Simon, which is to find a link between the Muppets and our opponents. Well,
I think you'll find he's sitting next to you, Pete.
I've had the two old boys in the box, actually. Rubbish. It was terrible. Statler and Waldorf, wasn't it? I think, if I'm right in thinking. But anyway, we've done Kempston for a Muppet link. I've done Waltham Abbey as well, actually. Waltham Abbey's Muppet link was a superb one involving Joey Essex and a kebab. So we'll let you wonder about that as I get on to the Golden Boot, which the top ad's Eben Mabona of Hatfield Town, who is, they won 7-0 in their last 2 games. The Big Bush Hill Rangers, and Eben didn't score, but he scored 2 last week in a real turn-up for the books. They won 7-0 against Hertford Heath, who had, up until that point, been going pretty well. He got a couple, Ganamni Collington got a couple as well. They're the top 2 in the Golden Boot. Eben's got 24 and Gamani Collington has got 19. That's quite some strike force. Jamie Marshall of Hertford, he's got 17. Brad Watkins is now clear in 4th place with the goal he scored here today with 13. You've then got Louis Debenham of Westmill and Kendall Giamphy of AFC Welwyn, who are on 12 points. So we'll keep you in touch with that as the season goes on. And Chris has got all that's going on in the women's Golden Boot.
Well, let's start with the Golden Boot. So it's level at the top, actually. I think I'm going to win on the Best Names Awards as well. But so tied on 15, we have Paige Pryor, who plays for St Margaret's-Bury, and Laura Cousins for Sherwoodwood. All scored, all these names I'm going to give you scored last weekend. Laura Cousins scoring twice to go, tied up the top with Paige Pryor. Jessica Duff for Bury Rangers is in 3rd place and the bronze medal position when she plays for Bury Rangers. And then another Sherwoodwood player, Claire Cranfield, and Sophie Vale, sounds like the name of a football ground, doesn't it? And she's 5th with 10 for Watson Park.
I've seen many a game at Sophie Vale. Don't ring about it, doesn't it? But, talking of football games, full programme for the late. I mean, it's been terrible the way things have been disrupted, and I'm sure they'll be really glad to get back on the park tomorrow.
I would hope so. Yeah, and there were games last weekend, a couple of weekends ago. I know that Hertford's was called off at Watson Park. They did play last week at Langford, unfortunately losing by the odd goal in 7, but they are away to top of the league Watford Ladies Development, who play at the Hive in Queensbury on the 5G. And Hertford are 7th at the moment on 13 points. That's going to be a real test for them. Watson Park, they're at home to Billericay Town Women's Development Team, who Hertford beat in their first game of the season 2-1, and Watson Park are 9th with 12 points. Into the Beds and Hearts Women's Premier League, our neighbours in Hertford for Hartham, of course, they are at home against a local derby against St Margaret's-Bury. Hartham are currently 5th, St Mags are 4th, Hartham on 12 points, St Mags on 16, so that promised to be an interesting game. Division 1 and Sherwoodwood are at home to Berkhamsted. Sherwoodwood are 7th in the league, only have 6 points, and yet they've got 2 in the top scorers, in the top 5. So I think they're possibly having defensive issues, but it would be nice to go along and support Sherwoodwood if you're looking for something to do tomorrow afternoon. In Div 2, Buntingford Town are at home to Rail Bedford, as all real Bedford teams seem to be, they're top of the league. Buntingford are third. Buntingford have 16 points, Real Bedford 24, so that'll be a test for them as well. Watton ladies are away to Stotfold Junior, and Watton are in 7th in the league on 7 points. No local matches tomorrow in Div 3, and that's all the women's news.
Well, plenty of action there, all 2 o'clock kick-offs. You fancy a bit of Sunday afternoon football. Bit of football in midweek as well. On Tuesday in the Thurlow Nunn Division 1 South, St Margaret's at home to Hoddesdon, which not only is a local derby, but it's a massive game for both teams who find themselves in the bottom 3 of that particular division. St Margaret's are 20th, Hoddesdon are 21st of a league that's headed by Harlow from Clapton Community. At Harlow, the news this week, very disappointingly for them that they can't be promoted, which I suppose they said whether that brings a different kind of aspect to teams that play you, and when they know you can't be promoted, and it takes something, I suppose, for the club to I guess they've got that incentive to go out and win the championship, and then kind of turn around and look back and say, hey, you know, what about this? It's a pretty silly decision to not promoting us.
They seem to not be able to catch a break at the moment, Harlow. They've had no luck whatsoever after the last few years. It's a huge town, and you would hope that they would have a bigger and more successful football club, and it seems to be really no fault of the football club themselves, but circumstances keep coming across and keep kicking them in the knee, if you like, and they're just not having any luck.
And just looking at a couple of our other local clubs around, the Senior County League is building up for an interesting finish, I think. Hatfield Town at the table there, played 22, 49 points, but Bellstone, who are second, if you know where Bellstone is, they play their football just outside Radlett, and they've got 5 games in hand, and they're 5 points behind. Chipperfield Corinthians are the third place team. They've got 3 games in hand.
I had the pleasure of visiting Bellstone towards the end of last season, and it really was a pleasure. What a lovely group of people they are there. It's a really decent ground for Hertfordshire senior county level. I anticipate that they will be in the South Midlands League before we know it.
And Hertford Heath in that division of 19th, despite that thumping by Hatfield Town last week. And Buntingford are 9th in the division. Games on today, Hatfield Town against Chipperfield Corinthians, so that should be an interesting one, being played at the Smile IT. Hertford Heath are at home to Hinton. And also in the Senior County League, a big up to our friends at Westmill, who are in Division 1 now, having gone to quite a meteoric rise, really, for the team at Westmill. Haven't had too many changes. Still the same lads playing there, sponsored by the Fox at Aspendon, and they're acquitting themselves very well at Senior County League Division 1 level. They're 7th in their particular division with 16 points. And have got games in hand on all the top 3, and they've got a big game this afternoon when they have been entertaining Owens, who head the table from Waltham Cross and Evergreen. So 2 teams back out on the park here at Hill Grounds. We stand at 1-1 at half time. And grateful thanks to Kempston Rovers for not only providing us with a table, but also for the tomato soup that's just gone down very nicely. It's very nice. So many thanks, and thanks to all the clubs, of course, and to everybody that listens. We have reached 27 countries, I think it was, at last count on 90 Minutes Live. So if you're away from these shores, listening to us, a very good afternoon, morning, evening, or whatever it is where you are. As can see that Kempston are about to make a substitution. Charles Black is about to come on. He'll be wearing 16, and I think it's Gabriel Ward who's gone off the number 5, and it is indeed. So change for Kempston at half time. Can't imagine that's anything but an injury, but
I didn't see him pick up a knock. If that's the case, he looks considerably older than the rest of the team out there, so I don't know whether they're bringing on a bit of experience. I actually couldn't tell you, but I didn't see anyone pick up a knock.
Yeah, Charles Black is 26. He's been around AFC Rushton and Diamonds, Biggleswade United as well. So, as you say, Chris, he is a more experienced player than the teenage centre-back that has gone off. Welwyn Garden City are about to get us underway, kicking from right to left. I'll give you the two team lineups when we get an appropriate break in play. Welwyn Garden City with Alex Harris just inside the Kempston half, nipped on by Henry Jones for Darnell Winter, and an early bit of action for Charles Black as he clears the ball, but only as far as Ryan Kirwin, who then gives it away to Wood on this near side. As it's Lapedo who tries to send it down the touchline and gives me a chance to give you the Welwyn Garden City lineup. Charlie Crowley in goal, Alex Harris and Brian Kirwin, the two fullbacks, James Kolosky and Josh Steele, the centre-backs. James Mulley is the shield in front of the back four. A little bit further up in midfield, Brad Watkins, the skipper, and Gucci. And then a three-man front line, which has Henry Jones going through the centre on either side of him, Cyrus Babai and Darnell Winter. Kempston looking to come forward on this near side, but Kirwin manages to sort that out before Adepoju can get at it, but only at the expense of a throw-in to the home side. It's a bit dull, waiting for the floodlights to come on, as Cyrus Babai can't keep the ball in on this near side. As we wait and see what Mark Weatherstone's words had at half-time. Gucci's done well to win the ball away from Ladapo, and then just thumps it aimlessly, really, into the
free kick.
Kempston half. And
he's taken out late.
It's going to be a free kick on this near side, so good time to give you the Kempston lineup. George Whitehall in goal, two fullbacks, Marlo Goff and Albert Wood. In centre defence now they have Charles Black and Kieran Gaultier. Then in the centre of midfield they have Erin Amu, Dylan Joyce, and also Lanry Ladapo, and then a three-man front line, which has the dangerous-looking Joshua Adepoju on one side, Lucas Cardines, their new signing, on the other, and Ari Amu through the centre. They've only got two subs left, having used Charles Black, unless Jack Marshall, the goalkeeper, makes an appearance. Those two substitutes are Sam Ezenwaka and Laurie Diaklesi.
It's actually not a free kick. It looks like it's a drop ball, so he just stopped the game for the injury. Player on the ground. It's for Kempston still being treated. Lonry
Ladapo, who's just got up a little bit gingerly, having been treated by the... I don't know, we've had this debate all season, actually. You know, they were sponge people, therapists, trainers, physios. Where do you stand on this one?
I'm
what do you call them?
I'm a magic sponge man myself.
Magic sponge people. Rachel Wong is the magic sponge person for Welwyn Garden. So you can see her sitting on the in the dugout over there. Hasn't been needed, thankfully, so far. Game's restarted. James Mulley puts it forward, comes off the head of Wood and goes out for a throw-in on this near side, which Ryan Kirwin will take. So the Hertford in front at North Lee, we're 0-0 at Barton, and Welwyn Garden City 1-1 here with Kempston Rovers. That's how it stands with our three teams in 90 Minutes Live in association with Easy Shelf. Long kick forward, but certainly North Lee, who were beaten at home by Bedford, of course. This could be wobble time for them. Bedford had their wobble and seemed to have overcome it. Biggleswade Town have just been cruising, really. Haven't really had that kind of wobble so far this season. Team in third place. As Gucci picks up the ball inside the centre circle, brings in Darnell Winter, who struggles to get it under control, and Goff snaffles it away from him. Finds Joyce. Marlo Goff returns to favour, but Welwyn Garden City have got it back, and then it's thumped out.
It's quite striking if you look at the benches on the other side, whereas Kempston have got two, maybe three there, and Welwyn Garden City, it's absolutely packed. It's like the Piccadilly line in the morning. There's 11 there, I think.
Yeah, I think they're all edged in. It's going to be difficult to get one of them out there. They're so far squeezed in together, I think, sitting on the bench there. But Henry Jones picks the ball up, finds Brad Watkins. Brad, though, loses out and Erin Amu a chance to come forward. Ariamu was offside though, and a flag goes up on this near side. On that bench for Welwyn Garden City, by the way, Donovan Green, the goalkeeper, Josh Bryant, Lucas Jordan, Jack Vasey and Zach Brown. So certainly in Lucas Jordan, someone who could possibly change your game in an attacking sense. Josh Bryant and Jack Vasey, who was a centre forward but slotted in now to that midfield role. Not quite sure how fit he is though. So he will be required, and Zach Brown very much a defender. Josh Bryant likewise. There's Charles Black, long ball forward into the Welwyn Garden City half, which James Koloski will put back to Charlie Crowley. He's had a lot to do with his feet, but hasn't really had to use his hands much so far, Charlie. Gucci's wrestling for the ball with Ladapo and still going as they don't want to let go of each other. But a strictly gum dancing between the pair of them there, and the referee gives a free kick to Welwyn, some 15 yards inside the Kempston Rovers half.
So I grew up as a Wealdstone fan, which is because I lived in Harrow, and there's a very famous chant that they used to yell every match, which was just long ball down the middle, and it's reminding me a bit of that today, with both sides thumping 50-yard passes to nobody.
Here's Alex Harris, put a bit more science on it possibly. He chips it out to the edge of the box, header comes in, and in goes Cyrus Babbo with the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper goes down and the referee gives a free kick. Cyrus had to go for that and collided with George Whitehall at the time, but that's really the first time one of those balls across the box has met a Welwyn Garden City head and put Kempston in trouble.
You won it comfortably, didn't you? There was just a flurry at the end and then a couple of pink socks hanging in the air, but that was a half chance.
George Whitehall, thankfully, is back up and okay, the young goalkeeper.
He's done well.
So, he had a good game when they played Ware a few weeks ago as well. Did the 20-yard. As I said, he was on the books at Cambridge United. Didn't quite make it that level, and then ricocheted around AFC Sudbury and St Neots. So he's played a decent level of non-league football. Henry Jones heads the ball on, looking for Cyrus Babai into the back of Wood, and it will be a free kick. It's getting duller by the minute here. If they want a floodlight, I've got mine here, so I can easily put it on, but it's not going to help much on the pitch. As Josh Steele heads the ball up in the air, back in by Aaron Amu to Ariamu. Ariamu will turn, chipping in, looking for his brother Eri. Had made his way into the box, but was shepherded well by Kolofsky. It's still round about that box. Citizens can't get it clear, but they will now with Brad Watkins. Watkins, long ball forward, looking to release Durnell Winter. It's 2 against 2. Henry Jones is in the box. Everybody trying to get there. Is Henry Jones inside the box. Turns it back for Gucci. Fires in the shot. Goalkeeper misses it. And it goes tamely into the back of the net for Gucci's second goal of the season. Welwyn Garden City take the lead. And well, Kempston only themselves to blame. Caught out at the back. 2 against 2. And Welwyn back in the lead.
Things to pick up from that, Pete, is that Kempston had a really good chance up the other end, and the Welwyn defenders were standing off as they were twisting and turning, and got the shot in, although it was blocked. And then right up the other end, it's one of the most underwhelming goal celebrations I've ever seen. He did not catch it well at all. I don't know whether it caught a deflection or the goalkeeper was just wrong-footed, but yeah, it went in. Who was it who scored that, Pete?
Gucci.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah, it was Gucci's goal, but I think he and me, I both looked at it and thought, is that in the net? And in the end it did.
Really strange. It'll be interesting to look back on that.
Well, they all count, and Welwyn are in front here by 2 goals to 1. James Mully heads the ball forward. Work to be done for Kempston Rovers, who once again have got in front of the game and now find themselves behind. And they've got an unenviable record apart from that storming second half they had against Ware. They've been outscored 15-31 in the second half of games, and told you in the first half about that record of conceding a dozen in the last 10 minutes of games. So Welwyn will look to come forward to put this one to bed. Ryan Kerwin's beaten to it. on the halfway line. Brad Watkins has snaffled it away from Joyce and brings in Henry Jones, left-hand side. Nobody in the box to aim at, but they are arriving now. Henry turns inside one, inside two. Might think about the shot, doesn't. Puts it across the box. Brad Watkins to Gucci. Is Brad Watkins right-hand side of the box. Pulls it back across. Poured away by the goalkeeper Whitehall. And will be clearance completed by Joyce, who then gives it away to Josh Steele.
Best move of the match for me from Welwyn there.
And you do feel that Kempston need to get a grip on this, or the game could go beyond the Cyrus Babai forward to Gucci. Welwyn Garden City have slipped into gear here. Gucci, edge of the area, finds Cyrus, pushes him a little bit wide. Albert Wood is the defender. Cyrus onto the right boot, goes for the far post, nobody at home, and it will go behind for a goal kick. But do get the feeling Mark Weatherston might have had a few words to say at half time, and they might well have begin to start.
They seem to have upped the pace a little bit for me when they're coming forward. There seems to be more intent. There was a really nice break down the right hand side, which was cut back for Gucci to score that slightly odd goal.
Yeah, I think Brad Watkins and Gucci have pushed a little bit further forward as well, which they certainly weren't doing in the first half.
They have to be careful though, at 2-1 up, that they don't leave themselves open at the back.
Yeah, absolutely, because one thing Kempston have got is they've got a bit of pace on the flanks, particularly on this side, as the ball is skied up by Gaultier, headed out by Josh Steele, up in the air by Gucci. Cyrus can't get hold of the ball, and it's down inside the centre circle with Ladapo. Ladapo turns away from Gucci and then gives it away to Josh Steele. Cyrus Babai, caught by Wood coming through. Albert Wood's going to be lucky to avoid a yellow card for that one, I think. And Rachel is going to make an appearance from the Welwyn Garden City dugout, because Cyrus has certainly felt that one. Referee goes towards the youngster Albert Wood and is about to produce the first yellow card of the afternoon, and I think that's pretty fair, really.
Yeah, I mean, it hasn't been a dirty game. There hasn't really been a bad tackle at all in this game. Although Cyrus went down there, I didn't see an awful lot of contact, if I'm to be honest. It wasn't a great challenge. He was late going in there, but there wasn't a lot of contact.
Well, Rachel's done the job, and she's going to have the long walk now all the way around the pitch over to the other side. Cyrus is back up. Welwyn Garden City have got a free kick, which Charlie Crowley's going to take.
And not a magic sponge in sight.
Charlie Crowley will have this free kick. He's about 5 yards inside his own half. Spots it down with a bit of precision, as if he was going to make a conversion in the Six Nations. Long kick forward on that far side. Up they go. Offside. So does the linesman's flag for offside. So it will come to nothing. Citizens lead here by 2-1 with 12 minutes of the second half gone at Hill Grounds. They were a goal behind as early as 2 minutes and 30 seconds, but they've fought their way back. And at the moment, looking pretty much in control of the game, as Kempston have not, bar that effort right in the 3rd minute, offered much at all. Welwyn Garden City coming forward again with Cyrus Babai down this left-hand side. Albert Wood's got some more defending to do. Cyrus drifts inside, going towards the edge of the area, thought about a shot, still in possession, running out of options, plays it back to James Mulley. James plays it left-hand side to the advanced Ryan Kerwin. Kerwin goes down under challenge from Adepoju, and chance perhaps for Kempston to come forward. The area may look round at the linesman and say what, but he was right in front of us, and linesman got it spot on.
It's tight though.
Charlie Crowley will take the free kick again for Welwyn Garden City.
That's what I was talking about. They are speedy on the break, and Welwyn are playing quite a high line, and there's room to run behind them. They need to be careful.
Lucas Jordan doing a bit of warming up for Welwyn Garden City on the far side. Charlie Crowley will take this kick. aims to the edge of that area, but a bit further than that, onto the head of Alex Harris, who manages to keep the ball in for Brad Watkins. Brad's up and under, then will land at the box. Henry Jones is there. He's on the edge of the 6-yard box. Can't turn. He's got players behind him. Goes to the edge of the area. Brad Watkins is brought down, and that's going to be a free kick right on the edge of the 18-yard box. Harry Moo with the challenge. Brad went down and Moo gets himself a yellow card.
Henry Jones did really well there at the dead ball line, holding that up. Managed to cut the ball back for an on-running midfield player, which is where the free kick came from. Great work by Jones.
So you wait ages for one yellow card, and the bus effect takes on as Ariamu gets himself in the book of referee Kiefer Mayhew. And Wellington see right on the edge of the D this free kick, just to the right hand side. Brad Watkins is there with Derno Winter as well. Both of them might fancy it. Josh Steele comes, in fact James Goloski is who comes to join them. There's a 1, 2, 3, 4-man wall in the way for Kempston Rovers. James Koloski walks away, so does Brad Watkins, so it's going to be Derno Winter with the right foot. It seems he want to curl it either over or round that wall. Going round's going to be the long way, but here comes the kick underneath, hits the post and comes out with the goalkeeper beaten. Well, there was no draft excluder at the bottom of that wall, and almost Kempston made to pay and let off as the ball rebounds at the goal post, and here they come forward. Cardine forward on this near side, but Ryan Kerwin's in the way of the through ball, away by Charles Black on that far side, and Derwin Winter within the goal post of putting Welwyn 3-1 up.
Unlucky as well, struck the ball really well at the angle across to the far post from where he was taking the free kick. As you say, keeper was nowhere near it. Very unfortunate.
Throw down the line is Derno Winter again, is beaten to it by Goff on this occasion. Gaultier's put under pressure by Henry Jones, who hasn't had a lot of feed off, but he's worked very hard as a number 9 in that position.
Tell you what, Pete, I think the Kempston Ultras have had sugar at half time.
Oh, not tomato soup. Well, that was for us old boys, wasn't it, obviously. Throw's going to be taken by Alex Harris, and they're retreating towards the edge of the 6-yard box, so Alex will throw it in. He does, and it's a decent one off the head of Gaultier, lands at the feet of Derno Winter, who then just volleys it into the side netting.
Hooked it over his shoulder, didn't he? Thought it was going in at one moment, a bit of an optical illusion, but just right.
Would have been spectacular if it had gone in, as Kempston have, they haven't given the ball away, and it's back with Ryan Kerwin, who puts the foot in, and Adepoju goes down, and the home side get themselves a free kick. Wellington City in front here, 2-1. Gucci's goal 8 minutes into this half has separated the two teams after they scored 2, one apiece inside the opening 6 minutes. With our other teams, Hertford were 3-1 up at Northlea, having led 3-0 at half time, and Welwyn 0-0 at Barton Rovers. Throw in on the far side can be taken by Marlo Goff for Kempston Rovers, parallel to the edge of the Citizens' 18-yard box. 2-1 lead is good, 3-1 would be a good bit of insurance though, as Kempston still can be dangerous coming forward, as they might well now be, with Wood, who fires in a shot, bounces it off the back of Ryan Kerwin, and goes behind for a corner.
Is this the first corner they've had since they scored in the second minute?
Yeah, I think you're right in saying. And certainly Charlie Crowley's not had a lot to do, and even now, because they are such a short side, I mean, it's Dylan Joyce who's on the 6-yard box, and Dylan Joyce is, I wouldn't say, he's probably about 5'10", who's really putting Charlie under too much pressure. So this corner's going to come in, it's going to go to the far post. Up goes Charlie though with the punch and puts it away for another corner on that far side. Aria moves inside the 6-yard box now. Once again, not in terms of aerial presence, but certainly in terms of physical presence, he's a slightly different specimen. Cross on that far side, Lucas Cardines is going to take
about to make
corner.
a sub, Pete, as well.
And, that's I think it may be Gardines is going to go off after he's taken this corner. Does to the near post, headed out by James Mully. And it's controlled well by Darnell Winter. 1 against 1. Henry Jones against Ladderbow. Darnell Winter continuing the run. Whitehall did well and came out. Side foots the ball to the halfway line. Used it well as well. No panic from the goalkeeper. Harry Amu's not offside, but Charlie Crowley will come out. This time he just thumps it towards us off the top of the stand, which allows Kempston Rovers to make the change. It is indeed Lucas Cardines who is going to go off. And the number 12, Lorik Diakasi, is going to come on. So Cardines goes off on his debut. Diakasi, who played a few games for Ware, scored against them a couple of weeks ago as well, will come on. I think it's really not too much a change of pattern by Richard Gill, because that's going to be a wide man for a wide man down that side of the field.
The average height of their team's just gone up a couple of inches.
Yeah, I think he's certainly the tallest in the team now, as Diakasi has just come on. Ball goes out on this near side, and it's going to be a throw-in, which Albert Wood will take, but not before. Well, they've got a bit of a problem with Ryan Kerwin here, who's gone down. Gets up though, feeling his right leg, limps away just a little bit. I've got Josh Bryant on the substitutes bench, of course, who could slot easily into that left back berth. It's Aaron Amu looking to use some fancy footwork. James Mully wasn't buying it. The ball goes out for a throw in, which is quickly taken. Kerwin gets there. Wood's towering header takes it into the area, but a free kick is signalled by our referee. Well, in substitutes warming up, it's indeed Josh Bryant who's warming up on the far side of the field. Zach Brown's over there as well.
Okay, I'm going to say it this time. It's seriously dim out there. They need to turn the lights on.
Well, you can tell the way my one is. My trusty floodlight is shining here. It certainly is seriously dim. Someone needs to get their mobile out. I don't even know the story, Chris, but at Hartford, Ben Hurd turns the floodlights on and off through his mobile. He's got an app. A couple of weeks ago he was talking to us, said, I've got to turn the lights out, boys, and lit the app on his phone, and out went the floodlights. So amazing what technology can do. Gucci heads the ball forward. Henry Jones tries to bring it down, but only gives it away to Dylan Joyce, and forward come Kempston Rovers. Lapido's ball down this near side, but Josh still did well to read that, and Kerwin will just hit one of those Wildstone punts forward. George Whitehall to come back and thump one in the opposite direction, and Charlie Crowley will just come out and collect the ball inside his 18-yard box. And he's getting seriously dark now. Did have a problem when we were here about when they were playing Ware with the floodlight, which is in front of the floodlight pylon here. Actually went out in the second half of the game, but it was then resurrected so the game could continue. So let's hope that what's wrong with that isn't wrong with all the others. As Henry Jones goes up, gets a bit of a thump in the back from Gaultier, and Gucci goes in, as Gucci does, tries to win the ball, but Dylan Joyce does well, and in the end it's going to be a free kick to Kempston Rovers. Looking at the watch, halfway through the second half here at Hill Grounds. It's been a funny old game, really. It's been played at a decent pace, but goalmouth opportunities have been at a premium, and even the goal that separated the two teams has scored of a strange variety, let's call it that, as Kolosky heads the ball towards the halfway line. Darnell Winter gets it under control, then has it snaffled away from him. Gucci's battling in that midfield, as he has been all afternoon, and in the end he gives away another free kick, which will give Kempston a chance to come forward. Charles Black, I think, one of their two substitutes, fancies taking this one.
Free kick for obstruction for lying on the ball, I think, by the looks of it.
It's the number 15 who will take the kick. Lying up on the edge of the 18-yard area, Wellington City with a high line. Kolofsky heads it down, and Alex Harris should put out a leg which diverts it on that far side. Aaron Amu will keep it in. finds Charles Black again, midway inside the Welwyn half, starts to run, robbed of the ball. Cyrus Babo's got a chance here. He's got Wood in front of him, no one in support at the moment, but in the end he can't get past the defenders. Charles Black has it, beaten by James Mully, but it then lands in the centre circle with Cyrus Babo again. Henry Jones makes a run down the left-hand side. Cyrus goes for the right-hand side for Darnell Winter, who's offside, and a flag goes up frustratingly on that far side of the field. A free kick to Kempston Rovers. The substitutes still warming up on that far side as far as Welwyn Garden City are concerned. Jack Facey is actually over there warming up, so he may be fitter than we think, as long header forward by Kolosky up in the air. He will go again, good push in the back there surely, and referee spots that. Long way down when you're 6'5" as James Kolosky comes down. I think the as you said, Chris, the sugar rush away to our left is playing a part here. I don't think it should be part of their training regime. I'm sure that
they looked so sweet when they came out to be mascots as well.
Well, that's the problem.
It's like the Gremlins, isn't it?
Charlie Crowley is waiting as Gucci it is, I think. He's attending to his socks and his boots in front of the referee. It's Kempston time, of course. 20 minutes remaining between them and their 8th home defeat of the season here at the Hill Grounds, and more ground to catch up if they want to stay in this division come the end of the season. And Welwyn Garden City will be taking their points tally to 29 from 20 games, which will edge them a little closer to those playoffs.
Lights are coming on.
Top team go up, next 4 into playoffs, and the lights are, I think they're coming on in instalments, aren't they? There's one over there which is coming on, the 3 right opposite us are not showing much signs of life at the moment, but Charlie Crowley, long kick forward down that side, linesman's flag goes up, Darnell Winter was offside again, James Mully looks frustrated, and so do we, because that's not the first time that that's happened. Welling are preparing to make their first change of the afternoon as the board is flashed up, and I think it is going to be Jack Vasey who's going to come on. I'm not quite sure what that's going to mean. Ball goes out. So what the man's saying rolls, is it? I thought the man was saying bulbs then. I was getting a bit worried. Thinking we've got 2 pylons on now. 2 in the middle still are yet to make an appearance for us, as Alex Harris takes the throw in down the line onto the head of Gaultier, who just heads it out on that far side. Well, in taking their time about making the change, the board's coming out now, I think. We'll see what it's going to be. Could be Gucci who's going to come off. I'm not too sure. We'll have a look, wait for the numbers to go up. And it's actually going to be Henry Jones who's going to come off, and he is indeed going to be Jack Vasey who comes on, so be interesting to see what they do here, because Jack of course can play as a centre forward, but also he's played most of his football as a midfield player this season. Brad Watkins has gone into the centre forward position, who's another player who can play out there, and I think that's probably the way the change is going to be. Jack Vasey alongside Gucci in midfield, Brad Watkins push forward.
Did well, Henry Jones. He won a lot of flick-ons, did some nice hold-up play. The young lad put in a good performance today.
Yeah, I think he worked very hard. Brad Watkins then has been pushed into the front 3, which will certainly, in terms of physical presence, give Kempston something to talk about. Up and under by James Mully, looking for Watkins, but linesman's flag goes up for offside. Charles Black, midway inside his own half, comes forward, can't find anybody to play it to, and in the end just picks out Ryan Kerwin, whose long ball forward has to be dealt with by Gaultier because he had Watkins behind him. Does chest it down to Charles Black, puts it all the way back to his goalkeeper George Whitehall to Charles Black. If I was Richard Keel, I want a bit more urgency about my team. They're trailing here by 2 goals to 1. Playing a lot of the ball about in their own half. long one forward this time into the Welwyn Garden City half, only onto the head of Ryan Kerwin, and Welwyn Garden City got it back with Cyrus Babai. Cyrus turns inside, looks to feed Gucci, but he can't collect it, and Gaultier's there, finds Ladapo for Kempston Rovers. Gucci gets a foot in and diverts it back to Josh Steele. Gucci gets the ball back, left Cyrus Babai, right Brad Watkins. Which way is he going to go? To the left hand side, brings in Cyrus. Albert Wood there with him again. Cyrus looks to get it across the box. He does to the far post. Jack Vasey was there, can't get that one, but Alex Harris will keep it in play midway inside the Kempston half. Brings in Jack Vasey for his first touch. Jack's ball forward for Darnell Winter, tries to turn away from the attentions of Joyce, can't do so, has to go backwards to come forwards, and then goes all the way back to Alex Harris, still inside Kempston Rovers half. Alex's cross, looking for Brad Watkins, goes chest it down, breaks for Cyrus Babai, goes across the box, nobody there. Joyce can scuff it forward onto the head of Jack Basey, and in the end it's going to be a free kick to Kempston Rovers, which was one of their number. Has lost Adepoju, lost his boots, and he's put it back on. Seen a bit of a lack of conviction there, Chris.
A little bit, yeah. Welwyn have been caught offside about 4 times in the last 5 or 10 minutes, and it's relieving the pressure for Kempston themselves by doing that. They need to pay a bit more attention, keep themselves onside, and hopefully put this game to bed.
Well, we haven't seen Larrick Diakasi up until this point, but we did see him then. He's won a free kick for his team from Alex Harris. Midway inside the Welwyn Garden City half, left-hand side of the field. Charles Black is trying to scrounge a few more yards, but the referee tells him where to put it. Albert Woods on the overlap left-hand side. Saved by Charlie Crowley, but the referee unhappy with the way that the kick was taken with a rolling ball, so they're going to have to do it all again. So, sorry Charlie, but that one doesn't count as a save. He hasn't had to make one so far. All he's had to do is punch a corner behind. But, let's see what happens here. Charles Black will take the free kick with the right boot. High to the far post. Down in the area goes Kieran Gaultier. And absolutely nothing doing, despite the chorus from the small boys on our left-hand side screaming for a penalty. Never going to get one. Charlie Crowley from the goal away to our right-hand side. Time running out for Kempston Rovers. 14 minutes plus time added on between them and another league defeat here at Hill Grounds. Charlie Crowley will restart. Goal away to our right-hand side. Welwyn Garden City looking for their 7th away win of the season. Charlie's kick is headed back to the edge of the area, and James Koloski has to take aversive action and just volley it out on this near side of the field. Throws taken quickly down on this, down by this corner flag. Adepoju once again is there with Wood. Adepoju gets it across, but the ball had gone out, and so it's going to be a goal kick to Welwyn Garden City. I think it could be another Welwyn substitute on the way. I think it could be Lucas Jordan who's going to come on. We'll wait and see on that far side. Charlie Crowley waves everybody forward. 2-1 they lead. Goals from Gucci in the second half. Brad Watkins 13th of the season in the first. And that after a first goal for his club by Marlo Goff had given Kempston the lead inside the 3rd minute. Is Brad Watkins deep in Kempston territory, can't find Darnell Winter. Will get the ball back though, plays it back for Jack Vasey. Jack to his right for Brad Watkins. Brad fires it across the park side, comes off the post with the goalkeeper beaten, still inside the area. Whitehall didn't see that. Jack Vasey fires it in. There's a linesman's flag on the far post, and well, I think that got everybody out.
Shot from absolutely nowhere, wasn't it? Fired it with the outside of his boot from just outside the corner of the angle of the area. Went bouncing on this pitch across for 6 yards, hit the post. Unlucky.
Well, Welwyn have struck woodwork twice in this second half. Darnell Winters hit one post and Brad Watkins has hit the other. As Whitehall thumps the ball forward, looking for Ariamu onto the head of Josh Steele, forward by James Mully. substitution is imminent for Welwyn Garden City. Lucas Jordan is about to join us on that far side. Long ball forward by Whitehall, but he sliced it out of play, and that should be time.
He said about 15-20 minutes ago that Welwyn were playing Gucci further up the field. If you look at Kempston now, they've brought a couple of their midfields further forward as well, and they're tackling with more often than not 4.
Well, they've got to push it forward. They need to get something out of this game. I said in the first half, I don't think point probably be enough for Richard Keel's side, but certainly it'll be better than another defeat. Long kick forward, and the ball's going to go out by the corner flag on that far side. And make the change now. They've got the board there all ready to go, but still waiting. Fans Kempston are going to make their final change of the afternoon before Welwyn Garden City get a chance to change things. Ball's back in play, moved forward by Goloski on that far side, up in the air by Donnell Winter, cleared a little bit further by Gaultier, back in by Jack Vasey. Bit of aerial tennis, ends at the feet of Gucci, who goes down, claims for a free kick. Referee not interested. Charles Black deep inside his own territory. Wood to Ladipo. Ladipo on this near side for the advanced Albert Wood coming forward for Kempston. Albert Wood plays it to his far side to Adepoju. Adepoju puts it inside the area, but Josh Steele sorts that out. And Gucci will thump it clear, looking for the run of Brad Watkins. Whitehall's halfway inside his own half as he comes out to collect it and finds Gaultier. With a bit of the old basketball mentality happening again here. Forward comes Marlow Goff on that left-hand side into the area. The shot's going to come across. Charlie Crowley couldn't get hold of it, but in the end nobody can get hold of it either, but it did take a deflection and goes behind for a corner. Well, that's probably the closest they've come since the goal.
They're looking as dangerous now as they have at any point during the game.
Corner to be taken on this near side. And Joshua Adepoju defending to be done. All hands to the pump for the citizens. In fact, they're all back inside that 18-yard area. It goes to the near post, headed out by Ryan Kerwin. Only as far as Lionry Ladapo lets fly over the fence into the trees behind the goal. And substitutions about to be made. First of all for Kempston, Sam Azenwaka is going to come on for Ariamu. Centre forward for a centre forward. That's not going to change things too much. Azenwaka comes on. That's 5 goals this season, so has been amongst the goals. The move goes off, and Welwyn Garden City about to make their change. It's going to be Donnell Winter who is going to go off. And as we said about 5 minutes ago, Lucas Jordan's finally going to join us. So could mean that Cyrus Babai goes right and Lucas Jordan will come left, I think, is what's going to happen as a result. Lucas Jordan, again, a bit more height comes to Welwyn Garden City if they needed it against a fairly diminutive Kempston Rovers lineup in the shape of youngster Lucas Jordan. Wood down the line as Josh Steele comes to cover the run of Adepoju, puts the ball inside the box, and it was
good defensive work, shielded the man, did well. It was a dangerous position.
Azenwaka almost made a instant impact as the ball came across the box and goes behind for a goal kick. 7 minutes to go. Well, holding on a little bit here, still looking for that insurance. They've hit the woodwork twice in this second half. Kempston still very much in this game. Very much the witching 10 minutes as far as Kempston are concerned. Conceded 12 in the last 10 minutes of games. Second worst in the division behind Leighton Town. Forward by Koloski. Forward again by Koloski. Still deep inside the Welwyn Garden City half. A little bit further on by Gucci now. Brad Watkins over his shoulder onto the halfway line. Ladipo with Cyrus Babai hooked forward by Watkins. Lucas Jordan trying to get it. The goalkeeper Whitehall's taken a chance, but in the end he's done well. Thumped it forward. Only Koloski's there, and Koloski does well to maintain possession under challenge from 2 red shirts and punts it towards the halfway line. Cyrus Babai's lost possession. the feature of the last 10 minutes or so for Welwyn. Haven't been able to hold on to the ball. And forward they come on that far side. A spectacular fall. It's got to be said by Dia Cassie. Challenge from Alex Harris, and Alex picks up a yellow card. Dia Cassie went down in instalments there, but he finally did hit the turf. So Charles Black will aim a free kick inside that Welwyn box. Lucas Jordan has stayed forward this time, being marked by Landry Ladapo. Everybody else round about that box, although Dylan Joyce is midway inside the Welwyn Garden City half. Charles Black's kick is a decent one, headed out by Brad Watkins to the edge of the area. Ezen Wacker couldn't get a shot in. Black will get it. Black puts it into the area. Up comes Charlie Crowley and will collect it comfortably on the edge of his 6-yard box. Takes that fall down as goalkeepers do in the last 10 minutes, and will take his time in clearing the ball forward. Well, Kempston have given it a little bit in the last 10 minutes or so. But still they trail here by 2 goals to 1. And Welwyn edging their way towards away win number 6. It's been all or no, it's been feast or famine away from home. They've played 12 away games. They've won 6, lost 5, and hopefully they'll turn that into 7. Draws haven't been on the agenda for Mark Weatherston's team away from home. It's far side of the field. Kempston have got a throw in. It's their time now. The throw in to be taken just inside the Welwyn Garden City half. Lands at the feet of Dylan Joyce. Joyce again has to go back into his own half for Kieran Gaultier. Here's Charles Black who picks the ball up. Black's ball forward is a decent one. Charlie Crowley comes out at the feet of Ezen Wacker and thumps it out on that far side. Once again, good starting position by the goalkeeper, or Welwyn could have been in trouble there. But Ladapo, far side of the field, looking for Goff, goes out inside the Welwyn Garden City dugout.
The balls, wasn't it? Right through the middle. No angle or anything through it. You would have hoped that would have been cut out.
Headed forward by James Mully, further on by Gucci. Cyrus Babai can't keep it in. Midway inside the Welwyn half, we are far side of the field. 3 minutes left. Kieran Gaultier will take the throw in for the Walnut boys. Looking for some movement. He's not getting a great deal at the moment. Hasn't got anyone anywhere near him. Dylan Joyce is the closest player to him. He's going to try the long throw. Long throw lands inside the area. Headed on. The volley comes in on the turn from Joshua Adepoju and goes over the top of the crossbar.
We haven't seen before as well. Kempston winning the header. Nice technique on the volley from just inside the area, I think it was. Comfortably over the bar, but still a good effort.
Mark Weatherston's got that hands in pockets, pensive look about him inside the technical area on that far side. We'll be having a word with him hopefully after the game, which will be on 90 Minutes Live post-match tomorrow. You'll find links to that on our Twitter, Instagram and Facebook. Simon does the TikTok. I'll say that's because he can dance and I can't, but not great on TikTok. Here's Charlie Crowley who's going to take the kick. Is he? No, he's going to leave it as ball's going up that far side. Surely Kempston can't be making another substitution. They've already made all 3. And the only one they've got left on the bench is a goalkeeper. So it's going to be James Kolosky who's going to take the free kick for Welwyn. Just shy of the halfway line, and the referee is going to show him a yellow card, is he?
Time wasting.
Yep, I think that's in the way of James Kolosky. Alex Harris in the book as well as James. So he's produced 4 yellow cards so far. The referee, Kolosky, slips over as he puts the ball forward onto the chest of Brad Watkins. Is Lucas Jordan in a bit of a rush down the left-hand side of the area, but Whitehall does well. Bowls the ball out, and ball being brought forward onto the halfway line. In goes the challenge from James Mully. Takes it out for a throw in. There's a ball going up. It says 5 minutes to be added on. But not quite at 45 yet, so we've got about 6.5 minutes to go here. Welwyn Garden City losing 2-1 in front thanks to that second half goal from Gucci 8 minutes after the break. got to warn you about this one, Chris. Actually, it's normally Simon's job to name the man of the match for our particular team. So maybe if you want to think about that in the next couple of minutes, as Brad Watkins comes forward, Brad goes down under challenge. Referee looks, takes a long time about it, and then points to the penalty spot.
Well, that's a really good job for Gucci, and you do not stand there waving your arms around waiting for a penalty before it's given. You should always play to the whistle. Thought Brad Watkins was going to pull the trigger, took one more touch, got brought down from behind. Looked a penalty to me.
Well, yellow card shown also to Lani Ladapo in all of that. And so the chance for that bit of insurance we were asking for. Welwyn Garden City have a penalty. Jack Vasey and Brad Watkins are there. I think it's going to be Brad that's going to take it. We will wait and see. And as Chris said, there wasn't a lot of doubt about it, but Welwyn Garden City, to their credit, they kept playing, which some teams may have just cried for a penalty. Brad Watkins, who's scored one, hit the post, and now gets a chance to make his season tally 14 against George Whitehall from the penalty spot in time added on for stoppages here at Hillgrounds. Up steps Brad. Oh, the goalkeeper saves it. Good save by the goalkeeper, diving to his left. There wasn't enough pace behind it for me.
No, it wasn't a great penalty.
And Kempston is still in the game.
And as you say, didn't hit it with enough pace. Keeper did well. You can't fault him at all.
Well, he's had a good game as George Whitehall, and he's kept his team in the contest there. Brad Watkins misses a penalty. The Citizens have got a corner which Jack Vasey will take on that far side of the field. Can we get a bit more drama inside that 18-yard area? Can we get the insurance that they're still crying out for? Jack Vasey's corner, one arm up in the air, goes towards the near post, headed up in the air, away to the far side of the area. Down goes Brad Watkins under challenge. Kempston may come forward here, but James Mully does well to intercept the ball. He finds Lucas Jordan. Lucas Jordan on this near side tries to nip it off of Wood. Ball doesn't go out. Kempston still in position, a chance to come forward with Adepoju here. Adepoju against Gucci, who does a good job and delays his progress as the ball goes out for a throw-in to the home side. Played 1.5 of the 5 added on here at Hillgrounds. Kempston still in the game. Welwyn Garden City spurning the opportunity to surely put the 3 points in the bag, as Brad Watkins has his penalty saved by George Whitehall. Far side of the field though, Welwyn Garden City in possession, coming forward with Alex Harris. Alex though chips it forward, nobody at home. And goalkeeper George Whitehall will come out and collect it at the hurry up. Brings in Giles Black. Looks up 1, 2, 3, 4 man front line now for Kempston. No use sitting back, they need a goal. They're not going to get one though. Gucci's won the ball back. Lucas Jordan coming towards the halfway line. Jordan goes down under challenge from Ladapo. Home crowd not happy. Referee gets a free kick and a chance to breathe as far as Welwyn Garden City are concerned. And looks like Josh Bryant might be about to come on.
Lovely bit of game management there. He ran into a pile of legs, knew what he was going to get brought down. Stopped the game. The linesman's flagging frantically, don't know why. Oh, substitution.
It's going to be Josh Bryant who's going to come on that far side. I think it'll be Ryan Kerwin that might come off. I think had that knock a little bit earlier on. The referee's going across to have a word with Richard Keel, who obviously had a one too many words with his assistant on that far side. If the referee going to produce a card for the manager over there? Doesn't look like it. Yes, he has. He's yellow carded the Kempston manager, Richard Keel, for his protests. So he's, I suppose, having booked 8 at the Pexhurst earlier in the season, got to keep his average up. So he's produced another one there. Charlie Crowley's free kick goes all the way out of play on the far side. Josh Bryant goes back on the bench. It is about to come on now as they signal they want to make the change deep into stoppage time at Hillgrounds. Let's see the number that will go up from the board. Referee's assistant coming towards it, and it is in fact the number 8. It's Gucci who's going to go off. He's had a solid game again as a young man. He's that kind of player he's just a real nuisance everywhere he goes, isn't he? It's, nuisance factor high. So Gucci trotting off at snail's pace. Josh Bryant's going to come on, and Lucas Jordan and Cyrus Babai have swapped. Lucas down the right, Cyrus to the left-hand side. And I think Josh will come on to really make a 5-man back line. As George Whitehall will now take the kick. Plays it short to Gaultier. Gaultier to the right-hand side for Charles Black. Charles Black back to his goalkeeper. Time running out on the Walnut boys here. I'll make it 4.5 for the 5 added on, but we'll still have a bit of time added on for that substitution. And also the award of the penalty as Dylan Joyce wants to come forward here for Kempston onto the halfway line for Charles Black. Chips the ball forward, but Josh Steele's got it under control. First touch for Josh Bryant. Cannons the ball off of Wood. Forward by James Mully, still midway inside the Welwyn Garden City half with Dylan Joyce. Tries to thread it down this right-hand side to either Poju, and that might well prove to be it as far as Kempston Rovers are concerned. Little time to think about it, Chris. Who's the man of the match?
Got two choices. One is the guy who made the tomato soup. Absolutely superb effort by him, but I'm going to give in all seriousness to Gucci. He did play some stray passes, but he snuffed out an awful lot in midfield. So long as Welwyn hold on for this, he scored the winner as well. That's my man of the match.
That's 90 Minutes Live in association with Easy Shelf Man of the Match, Gucci, whose goal stands between the two teams, scored 8 minutes into this half. As the ball lands deep inside Welwyn Garden City territory. One of those crows appears again as linesman's flag goes up on that far side, and we play on. We have had 6 minutes over the top now from our referee, Mr. Mayhew. Welwyn Garden City edging their way towards their 7th away win of the season and their first points of 2024. Well, they've had a disastrous run. They just haven't had many games. As the ball lands on that far side, Kempston coming forward. The ball's still in the area, but it's thumped clear by Josh Bryant onto the head of Gaultier. And a free kick given inside that Welwyn Garden City area. The referee just looks round. Does he faintest glance at his watch? 6.5 over the top play there at the Hill Grounds. Charlie Crowley very precise in where he's putting the ball. Referee's already booked James Koloski for time wasting, so Charlie's got to be a bit careful here. Gets on with it. Right-footed long ball downfield for the run of Brad Watkins onto the head of Gaultier. Cyrus Babai is first on the ball. Cyrus manages to regain his balance. Plays to the right-hand side for Jack Vasey. Jack just maintains possession, experience, taking time out of the game. Tries to find Brad Watkins, who's strayed offside. We still play on as Charles Black gets it inside the Kempston Rovers half to Albert Wood. Albert Wood forward towards the halfway line, well read by James Mully. Mully takes it away from Lucas Jordan. It's Lucas Jordan on the edge of the area. Lucas under the right foot, fires it in, but straight at the goalkeeper, George Whitehall. Could have been an opportunity there for Welwyn to put it beyond doubt. And once again, the goalkeeper's in the way. And when he hasn't been in the way, two of his goalposts have saved him. Long ball forward near side. Josh Bryant as well finds Cyrus Baba inside Kempston territory. That's where we want to be. Cyrus heads towards the corner flag. Referee is about to end the game. And Welwyn Garden City survive and pick up their first points of the new year, their 7th away win of the season, given to them courtesy of goals in the first half from Brad Watkins and in the second from Gucci. They had the woodwork twice. Brad Watkins missed the penalty, and in all fairness, Charlie Crowley didn't have too much to do, but Kempston had plenty of possession in the final 15 or 20 minutes of the match. Mark Weatherston will be relieved, I think, after that.
The better team won for me, Pete. I mean, a big shout out to Kempston. They're a young team. They kept going throughout. They played the game absolutely in the right spirit, kept going all the way and really put pressure on in the last 20 minutes or so to try and get an equaliser. Welwyn Garden just seemed a bit steadier on the ball. They seemed more calm under pressure. They had the chance to put it away, which they didn't do with the penalty, but probably on balance of play deserved their win.
So 2-1 for the Citizens here. They move on to 29 points from their 20 games so far this season and increase their goal difference to +1. We'll see where that will take them near in the table. Bear in mind Waltham Abbey were in front and they were on 35 points and the tail end of those playoff places.
Can I just jump in with a couple of the local scores? So unfortunately Ware have been beaten, I think it's full time anyway, 2-1 at Barton Rovers. In the 5th minute of stoppage time, Hertford are still 3-1 up at Northleigh.
Well, if we look what's that's done to the table, it means that if Bedford have held on, they're going to go top. Where's playoff hopes once again have taken a tumble, having had 2 wins in a row.
Tame have won 2-0 at Stotfold, which is not a good result at all for Kempston.
Yeah, that basically means at the bottom of the table, Tame have played 22 and have got 24 points. Kempston have played 20 and they've now got 13 and a goal difference of -24. So it's looking ominous for the Walnut boys. It's got to be said with that score line. So at the moment anyway, Welwyn Garden City closing in a little bit on Ware. They've got 3 games in hand on Ware, but they're only 6 points behind.
They needed that today, Welwyn Garden. As you rightly say, they haven't played hardly at all in January. They had a roller coaster match against Tame, which they lost. So they haven't had a lot of luck either in January. So really deserved their win today, and it's nice to finally get some 2024 points on the board.
And also confidence boost going into a home game against Leighton Town next Saturday, followed by a Tuesday night game at the Baxhurst against today's opponents, Kempston Rovers. So there are 2 games that they will look at improving their home record. Their away record is as good as anybody in the division, really. They've now secured 21 points away from home this season, but only gained 8 at home. So that's the way that's looking. Northleigh looks like will not be top of the table this evening if Bedford have held on at AFC Dunstable, which is they were winning at half time by a 0-0. Cirencester and Biggleswade Town, the other 2 teams involved, along with Kings Langley in the shake-up at the
Biggleswade have beaten Kings Langley 1-0. Waltham Abbey have beaten Kidlington 1-0. Biggleswade Town have won 3-1 at Aylesbury. So the Hertford result is now full time, so a terrific result away from home for Hertford today.
Well done to Ben and the boys. There. Don't know if
did I say Waltham Abbey beat Kidlington 2-0?
You did. Yeah, we got that one. So Waltham Abbey will move on to 38 points from 24 games, where we'll stay 35-23, which means next week's game between the 2 teams, if it needed added significance, will take on even more significance after that. Kings Langley have lost out because they were in 7th, so they'll stay on 32 points from their 24 games. Getting tight at the top now. Northleigh 23, played 23, 43 points. Biggleswade Town played 21, 44. And we await the Bedford result, but if they have one against AFC Dunstable, they will be on top.
It's a disappointing run for Northleigh after they were turned over in the week by Bedford, and I think we all expected that Hertford might come off second best today, with Northleigh wanting to bounce back, and it's gone the other way for them, so they're in a bit of a slide.
Yeah, it's been interesting. And Welwyn Garden City won there, and Hertford have won there. We're yet to go there. So we could have a clean sweep for our 90 minutes live sides. It's Northleigh, and the most picturesque ground in the division, I think. It's very, very nice ground if you've never been there. Well worth a visit. Still waiting for that. See how Bedford and Cirencester have got on at the top of the table. As we were saying, it does look bleak now for Kempston at the bottom. 20 games. They've got 16 games left, 36 games you play in this division. and realistically they've got to be looking at picking up 20. Even if they picked up 20 points out of those 16 games, I still don't know whether that'll be good enough. So they really are up against it.
On 83 minutes, Cirencester were 1-0 down at Hadley. I haven't seen that come through as a final.
That's going to keep them exactly where they were then, and it's going to mean actually that Ware's defeat of Barton Rovers hasn't done them too much harm really in terms of that fifth playoff place, because Cirencester are on the same number of points, and it's certainly, again, as I say, it's the top three that's separating themselves: Northleigh, Bedford and Biggleswade Town. And then you literally have got 10 teams who are after 2 playoff places. And that could be Cirencester, could be Waltham Abbey, could be Ware, could be Kings Langley, could be Biggleswade, could be Welwyn Garden City, could be any of them really involved in the shake-up at the end of the season. Stockfold's still not out of it either. So
and Bedford have won 3-1 at Dunstable.
It's going to be interesting. Thanks, Chris. That completes the dots the I's and crosses the T's on the top of a table, which will look like this tonight. Then Bedford will be go back to the top, 21 played, 45 points. North Lever will be in second, played 23, 43. Biggleswade Town will be third, played 21, 41.
Interesting footnote on that match at Bedford today is they have a reverse fixture at Bedford against Dunstable is this coming Tuesday, so they're playing 3 times in 3 or 4 days.
Oh, well, that's what you have to do, I'm afraid, with all the games that have been postponed. Fourth on the table will be Waltham Abbey, who have played 33 games, sorry, not 33, 24 games Waltham Abbey have played, and they have 38 points. You then got Cirencester and Ware on 35, so that's what the top of the table will look like. This time next week then we will be at Watson Park, where Ware will be playing Waltham Abbey. Ware have got a game in hand. They're 3 points behind the Abbott, so that promises to be a little bit of a cracker. Here, well, Welwyn Garden City are back to winning ways in 2024 thanks to goals in the first half from Brad Watkins and 8 minutes after half time from our 90 minutes live in association with Easy Shelf Man of the Match, Gucci. Finished here, Kempston Rovers 1, Welwyn Garden City 2. Thanks to Kempston for their hospitality, particularly for the lovely tomato soup at half time, which will remain long in the memory. And thanks for Chris. Hope you've enjoyed it.
I've thoroughly enjoyed it, Pete. Thank you for inviting me along. I'll see you again in another 18 years.
Oh, it's all right. We'll give you another shirt, number 12 on the back, and come off the bench. So thanks to Chris White, our guest summariser. Thanks to you for listening wherever you have been tuning in to us here on 90 Minutes Live in association with Easy Shelf Direct. Simon Alamandy will be back alongside me next week. We'll be at Watson Park, Ware against Waltham Abbey, live from 2:55. Watch the socials for 90 Minutes Live post-match, which will be with Mark Weatherston. We're just about to go off and have a word with him, and enjoy the rest of your evening. Thanks for joining us. Full-time score I'll leave you with here: Kempston Rovers 1, Welwyn Garden City 2.